a question that people have a lot of times is they will, when they comment under my videos, they'll agree that, yeah, animal sacrifice is terrible. We would never participate in that. We agree with you on that, but it's a completely different thing to kill animals for food. That some humans need meat to survive is a general way of thinking. What would you say to those people?
Look, I mean, I have compassion for everyone where everyone's at. And I know some really remarkable, beautiful, amazing souls who eat meat. I just think that they're not seeing this one part. And some of these people are wiser and more loving than me in other areas of their life. They're more advanced souls than me in many different areas. I just think they have a blind spot in this one area that thou shalt not kill. That killing is wrong, and I believed all this stuff that you need meat to thrive and survive, but it's just not true. There's millions upon millions of people in the world right now absolutely thriving without eating meat. Now, since I've gone off meat almost 3 years ago, all of my blood markers have remarkably improved. I've reversed aged. My eyesight has improved by 35%. My strength, I got to pull up my workout log. My strength in the last 3 months has gone up to 50% in some lifts. And I'm full vegan now. Up to
Amazing.
50%, eating like 70 grams of protein a day. It's crazy. So it's just undoing this brainwashing. And I think some people maybe have tried to be vegetarian or vegan for a little bit and maybe had a bad experience. It can take some time for your gut flora to adjust. It's a totally different process for, you need a different gut microbiome to digest meat than, fruits or vegetables or whatever. So it could take some time. Some vegans are really annoying and cringy, and that scares people off too. So I get that too, totally. I'm with you. I've encountered a few of them, but I don't know what else to say. Killing an innocent being that doesn't want to die, that God created, it's wrong. Outside of a survival situation, we have so much abundance here. It's just like I could understand in the past when people are trying to survive or if they're in certain climates or whatever. But today in America, there's such an abundance of options that it's worth giving it a shot. Even if you could minimize suffering, even if you could eat meat less, or even if you could transition away from absolutely demonic factory farming, like the least you could do is try and get your, backyard eggs or from a slightly more wholesome source. Not that they're still killing the innocent animal, but at least they're not being tortured their whole life in the process. So I understand this is such a tough pill to swallow, but if we can get over the fear and just admit the plain truth that it's not nice to kill innocent beings, then everything else is downstream from that and everything will fall into place. And I promise you, if you ask God for guidance and you ask God for help in this journey, it's a cakewalk. And it's the greatest thing I've ever done in my life for my consciousness, for my health, for my state of being, for my compassion. I'm feel like I'm living in alignment with God's higher ideal, God's kingdom, and that is priceless.
Experience the power of nature with the Organic Muscle pre-workout. 20 organic superfoods, plus mushrooms, fruit, and clean caffeine for smooth energy, powerful strength, increased stamina, and full body nourishment. There's no jitters, no crash, no BS. Just pure organic energy for your healthiest life.
Yeah, again, so many directions we could go. I want to go back to what you said about your blood work and the gym because you and Aaron posted a video where you actually share your blood work, which everybody should go watch. I'll put
Yeah.
the link to that in the description. And that's incredible what you were sharing. And I've had a similar experience as well. When I was eating meat, I couldn't exercise. My health was so messed up. I would have exercise fatigue so bad that it would put me in bed. I'm not exaggerating. And this went on for years. And as soon as I cut out meat, that changed. My
Yeah.
energy went through the roof. Now I can finally start building some muscle and like I just feel great all the time. I need less sleep. It's just
Mm.
it's crazy. The
It's
shift that
amazing.
happens.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such a blessing. And I know some people are thinking now, well, I'm healthy eating meat, or like I had some health problems and I went on an animal-based diet and it helped. And I agree that that is very possible. And I know some meat eaters who are very healthy. But the way I look at it, it's like you can build a business. Let's take a couple hundred years ago. You could build a business with slavery, or you could build a business without slavery, with with a moral labor system, right? Now, let's say the person who had slaves working for them and their business is doing really well, and then they try to do their business without the slaves, and they're like, this goes from people, I tried vegetarianism, I tried it and it didn't work. It's like, okay, you had a business, you try it without slaves, and your business goes under, like it doesn't work. This is bullshit. Like I tried it. It didn't work. My business failed without slaves. Oh, it's like, I'm sorry that happened, but that doesn't make slavery right. This is like, yeah, there might be some adjusting, but it's a worthy cause to really invest in figuring this out. Because what's better in God's eyes? A business built on morality and service and fairness, or a business built on oppression and slavery? So just another example is, if you feel like you're having health benefits, this is probably going to trigger some people, but like you're in good health eating meat. Well, I the elites, the elites of this world drink adrenochrome, which is traumatized blood from innocent people that they torture. And it's supposed to help them reverse age. It's supposed to be the ultimate elixir for health. Now, just because something is good for your health or beneficial in the short term for your health, does that mean, okay, it's moral then? It benefited me, so it's moral. I don't think that's the right way to look at things. I think we should do our best to do things that benefit us without harming others. So that's the key. It goes for that slavery example, it goes for business, and it goes for our way of eating. So I'm sure that's extremely triggering for some people to hear, but it's this basic framework of love God, love your neighbor, golden rule, do no harm. It's great to look after yourself. It's great to look after your own body and your own energy levels, but we shouldn't sacrifice. What right do we have to oppress and kill others to benefit ourselves? That is literally the definition of service to self. The law of one talks about the service to self polarity. I'm rambling a bit, but let's look at bodybuilding. And I'm a natural bodybuilder. I love bodybuilding, but to have the attitude, I will kill as many animals and stuff them down my gullet as I need so I could get bigger biceps. It's the ultimate expression of service to self.
Yeah. It is. Yeah, absolutely. It's one of those things where I think we are just numb to it because it's the society that we live in, but once you see it, you can't unsee it.
Yeah. You see it everywhere. And you see, living in Texas, driving around, you see how so much of the economy is just built on death. The fast food, the clothes, it's really wild. There's so much suffering. And it's like almost waking up in a horror movie once you realize how much of our society is built on the suffering of these innocent beings. And I just think, imagine if we were in their shoes. Like, imagine if aliens came to Earth and started treating us like that, where human fast food restaurants popped up everywhere, where you were separated from your family and kept in little cages. And I don't even want to say the R word. Imagine if that happened to people you love, and then they're forced to have a baby, the baby's taken away, and then you're thrown into a slaughterhouse where you watch a bunch of your friends get slaughtered and chopped up, and then you're next. Imagine if that was you. It breaks my heart, and it's this mental experiment. I'm surprised that I never did it in my life. Like, how could I have not have seen, I don't want this done to me and my family, so I shouldn't do it to others. It's crazy. And, what is an angel and what is a demon? A demon is a being that oppresses other beings, probably less intelligent or less capable beings, for their own benefit. They terrorize them for their own benefit. From the animal's perspective, what are we? How could we be anything other than demons? We enslave and terrorize them with no regard for their feelings or for their pain, for our own benefit, for our own selfish benefit. What is an angel? An angel is a being that helps and assists and has compassion for beings that are less intelligent or less capable. So we all have a decision to make. Are we going to be a demon or an angel to other beings? And I think that's what we're here to learn. If every species gets along in harmony in the kingdom of heaven, can you vibrationally match that frequency if you are engaged in the terrorizing of other species? Or when you get to the kingdom, are you going to know that I have compassion for all beings and I seek to live in harmony with all beings?
Mm.
That's the decision we have to make.
What you said there is so powerful. The question about what is an angel or a demon and what are we to species that are, I don't know the correct word.
They're just different. They're
Yeah,
different.
beings that are vulnerable, more vulnerable
Yeah.
to us.
And how interesting that we prey on the most peaceful beings. I mean, cows are the most loving. They're like big dogs. They're
Yeah.
so peaceful. They're so kind. They're so loving. They're blameless. And we treat them the worst, the most blameless beings in God's existence. It's not right.
Yeah, my grandpa worked on a farm and I used to go help him when I was just a little kid. And they had calves there and sheep, and in the spring they would have lambs. And they're just like dogs. Like, they get excited to see you. They have personalities. You can learn to communicate with them. And I think we just don't realize because we're not, I mean, I guess 100 years ago, everybody lived on a farm and that was just the way it was, that you had to eat animals to survive. But nowadays, I think that people just don't realize.
If you like this clip and you want to see more, click right here. And if you want to see the full podcast episode, click right here.